1, ignition.
What you know about this life? Just relax, baby, get high. Yeah, you're on your way to the best night ever. No top on it, no top, out with the stars.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I have your Week 7 recap here. The 2022 season. A very low scoring affair overall. We'll start here first with Michael and Andrew. Looking over, let's see, Andrew winning 131 to 92. Tua and Aaron Rodgers mediocre QB games of 15 points. Tua's first game back. So, 15, 16 points. That's solid without any touchdowns. Well, I guess one touchdown, excuse me. So he's looking okay. Aaron Rodgers, on the other hand, is just, I don't know what's going on with that team. He hasn't scored over 20 points yet this season. He's questionable with the thumb injury. So I don't really know what to expect with that guy. But no high hopes. Saquon Barkley, solid game, 110 yards on the ground, 25 through the air, 18.5 fantasy points. Ezekiel Elliott, 57 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's really the only way I see him being productive in fantasy is, through touchdowns. Nothing through the air at all. That's just not great. If you look at, let's see, can we look at Tony Pollard over here? Two receptions, 2 targets. Yarding Ezekiel Elliott. It's just outgaining him in yards. Jesus Christ, I can't speak. So that's just not a great look for Zeke. The 2 touchdowns really saved him. Didn't save Michael though. Rondale Moore not doing great with Hopkins coming back. Only 2 targets and 1 catch for 31 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 1 reception for 4 yards after that the new concussion protocol because of the whole Tua thing. So he sat out the rest of the game. Hopefully he comes back strong next week. Hawkinson, 6.8 points. That's about all you can. That's a solid week for a tight end this year. Although with Hawkinson, you always hope for more. Keenan Allen, I think he got hurt in that game. 2 catches, 11 yards. Overall, I think was this 2, 7, 8, 10 targets between all of his receiving guys. That's pretty atrocious. Definitely contributes to that 92 point total. On Andrew's team, a pretty average day. I'd say 130 is about league average, I guess. Austin Eckler just booming. I definitely thought he was kind of busted after that first part of the season, first 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden his Houston game, he just turned it on with 3 touchdowns. He's been scoring touchdowns every week since. So that's great. That's great for Andrew there. McCaffrey, I don't like his new situation in San Francisco very much. I think they just have, with Garoppolo, I just don't think they have there's 4 options now. There's McCaffrey, Kittle, which is also on his team, which had a good game, and then Ayuk and I can see is Debo. Yeah, between the 4 of them, I just don't think there's enough ball to go around for McCaffrey to be as consistent and scoring as much as he did for Carolina. I do think he'll do better than 7 points though. Mike Evans, he could have had a bigger game if he would have caught that 70-yard dot by Tom Brady, but what do I care? Just whatever. Tom Brady sucks. DeAndre Hopkins looked amazing as he returned. 14 targets, 10 receptions for 103 yards. Had the fumble, but whatever. Looked pretty solid. All the hype was worth it for sure. George Kittle caught a touchdown, 98 yards, 6 catches. Amazing. 18.8 points for a tight end. Mark Cooper, 74 yards, nothing special. Overall, Michael could have started Judy, but that wouldn't have made a difference in this matchup. Andrew improves to 4-3. Yeah, good job, Andrew. Next, we have the closest matchup of the week, Bobby and Connor. Bobby showing that he can do it, even score 140 points, even with the Bills on the bye. He's not the overrated Bill stack. He's just stacked. Aaron Jones doing great things for Green Bay, even though they lost by 2. Josh Jacobs, 38 points, three 30-point performances in a row, which is just ridiculous. I'd have to look through a lot to see the last time a running back has dropped 3 30 bombs in a row. Justin Tucker, 13 points. All the points mattered in this one. Fournette, God, that Tampa Bay is just awful. Looking at Connor's side, he could have hoped more from Jackson. Garoppolo did well. Walker did well. Henry looked like old Henry with 30 touches or 30 carries, 128 yards, just maybe a touchdown or so. Godwin falling into that Tampa Bay category. CeeDee Lamb, they took Dak Prescott's return pretty light, so that's about. I guess I'm not surprised by that line. Kells had a solid 12-point game. Jonathan Taylor really disappointing this season with only 70, 80 yards, whatever that is. And Carlson doing great things, worth the 4 fab bucks. However, the Jets were not. I think he spent a little bit on them. No, he didn't spend anything on them, so whatever. I would have hoped for more against Denver with a backup quarterback. All right, so good job, Bobby, improving to 6-1 on the season and slating your spot, the number 1 overall seed so far. Next, we have Cam and Nick. Cam just right in the back of Joe Burrow right now. Joe is fully active at this current juncture. I did a previous recording, and I realized my mic was mute halfway through, so I just started over on this one. During that take, I realized I did the math, and Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, and Jamar Chase scored 92.4 combined points. So the 3 of them would have beat Nick's team this week. Just to put that into perspective for everyone. Pickett didn't do great. 3 interceptions, just not great against Miami. Alvin Kamara had about a little bit over 100 yards with just no touchdowns, even though the team scored 34 points. I think Tyson Hill had a touchdown. Using that white privilege against Alvin Kamara there. Gallup, no catches. That sucks. Kyle Pitts is trash and is interchangeable with any of the other 10 tight ends that go from 3 to 13 or whatever the hell they are at this point. I mean, they were down and they still to Cincinnati. They were down to Cincinnati and they still did not throw the ball. So I just, yeah, him and Drake London had I think Drake London had 1 target maybe, and Mariota threw the ball 15, 16 times still. It's just awful. I don't know what's going on over there. They really don't trust Mariota. Stevenson, the one bright spot with the New England Patriots. They got shit on by Chicago, but at least he had his 80 so yards or 90 so yards with 8 catches and a touchdown. So that's good for him. Dallas, 22 points. That also makes a difference. I mean, I guess high score of the week. Good job, Cam. Back-to-back weeks, putting his name on the playoff map. Final matchup of the week, but the second closest matchup, between myself and T-Bay. Got carried by Mahomes again, having almost 30. Would have had more if it wasn't for the interception and fumble. Tom Brady's ass. It's just 40. If you throw the ball 50 times, you really got it. Was 1 fucking touchdown. That's all I asked for. I guess if Mike Evans wouldn't have dropped the ball, but whatever. Nick Chubb continues to be a stud. Pierce, I'm really happy with that trade for myself. Over 100 yards. There's no touchdowns, but that's okay. He's a rookie. We'll give him a chance. Pittman. If you look back at who did I take last year? I think it was Amari Cooper in the 3rd round. That's where I took Pittman, and they have very similar stat lines. They went huge in the first week, and then a boom here, and then just that quarterback situation just sucks for him. Yeah, Waddle, 4 catches, 88 yards. I'll take it. Njoku, really bummed that he got hurt. ETN finally has that backfield to himself, so that makes me extremely happy. On T-Bay's side, Justin Herbert, just losing all of his targets. Mike Williams had that. I saw that on Red Zone, that tackle, and that just looked ugly. I think he's out for like 3 weeks or something like that. Kyler Murray, even when his team scores 42 points in a dub, he just doesn't, he's all fired up and everything on the sidelines, but still only 16 points fantasy-wise. Najee Harris is just, I told you he was a Trent Richardson last year. I'm pretty sorry I said it in one of the messages. I'm really happy you got him over me. I offered James Conner in a first for him, and I'm really happy he took your deal there for Aaron Jones in a first, because I would have just been hating myself almost as much as I hated myself for that Justin Herbert trade. Not over that yet. Benjamin really turned it around after a shit week the week before. Like I said, receiving situation a little bleak. T. Higgins still had a good game. Ertz definitely gonna drop here, as as Andrew saying, Zach Ertz stonks, going down. Yeah, not a whole lot of bright side here to T-Bay's team at the current moment, unfortunately for him. Kenyon Drake start, that was rough. All right, let's move on to next week. I also wanted to show this before we get too far into it. I made this last night. Had some free time, too much free time. This is everyone's head-to-head statistics, so I'll just start with myself because I put myself up front, obviously. So it has everyone's regular season matchups. So here's who I played. So against Michael, I don't have 2018. I asked Michael for it, but it's because it was on ESPN. We don't have like the everyone's individual schedule, unfortunately. But we have it for Sleeper. So you can see here that in 2019 I lost to Michael. I won, lost 2, won 1. So overall I'm 2-3 in the regular season against Michael. Against Bobby, 3-2. So this is the regular season, the playoffs. There's obviously, I've never played Michael in the playoffs, so there's not going to be anything there. Everyone else I have played. I do get the 2018 playoffs on there. I think it's right. I didn't get to see the winners bracket, so I'm pretty sure just based off of seeding and how everyone finished, I think I played Connor in the first round. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember. I obviously know I remember playing Cam. So that's why it's going to look weird for the 2018 season. I do have the overalls, though. And then at the bottom, you'll see your total. This is my overall all-time regular season record, my all-time overall playoffs. And then I combine the playoff and a regular season record, and that's what you see here. You can go through everyone's. My favorite statistic here is Andrew 0-9 in the playoffs. That's just a bummer. Played everyone except for Michael and Bobby because they're usually in the playoffs. Another interesting one that I saw too was Bobby's playoffs. So his first year when it was Taylor's team, he went 2-0 and won the consolation bracket. But since then, he has only won one matchup, and that was the first round of the 2020 World Cup year against Cam. Other than that, he has lost every single matchup in the playoffs. So since he's become owner, he's 1-6 in the playoffs. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Also, fun fact about this, I realized making this. I also did ranking everyone's regular season, playoffs, and then combine. I also did who your kryptonite is and who your bye week is. One fun fact here I also want to point about Andrew and Nick is they have played each other 10 times. Andrew finally got his first win this year on week 3. That was his first time ever beating Nick on their 10th matchup. Glazing over everything, I don't think anyone else played each other that many times. They've met almost every single year in the playoffs except for this last year, because I lost to Nick, so I kind of ruined that streak, unfortunately. yeah, that's just crazy. I think also another wild one is how good Connor. Here's Connor, and then T-Bay's over here. It goes forever. Um, Connor all time in the regular season is 37 and 18. However, he has only beat Michael once in the regular season. That was last year. And you can see down here, Connor, it says week 7 of 2020. It's the last win. I messed that up. Oh, man. Week 7 of 2021 then. Oh, typo. I think. Now I have to go back and look at it. Fuck. I'll fix it by the time you guys see this, it'll be fixed. If you see any other errors, just let me know. I'll share this with the league when Michael posts this recap. All right, let's look into next week's, and then we'll look over the let's look over the standings first. So, top 4, Bobby carrying away, then Connor and myself in fairly familiar territory. Andrew in newfound territory here, 4 wins. You can see, looking at this head-to-head at this record keeping here, he has 4 wins already this season. His all-time best season is 5 and 8, and that was in 2018. So he's already tied his sleeper best. He's 1 away from his all-time best, and if he, 2 more wins, and he is his best season ever. We'll see how the playoffs go. All right, so first matchup, we'll look at Thomas and Cam. Things that glare out to me: Najee Harris against Philly, probably going to be a stinker. I think Geno could do well against the Giants. Connor is touchdown dependent. Higgins is really playing second fiddle to Jamar Chase right now. Devontae Smith is poor man's Gabe Davis, so we'll see there. Ertz isn't doing well with Hopkins back. Gus Edwards really needed those 2 touchdowns or else he was irrelevant. I think with Lamar Jackson is just really questionable. So not a lot to get excited about over here. I think Geno is the only one that I'm actually kind of maybe excited about. Next, looking at Cam's team, Danny Dimes coming off a nice game against Jacksonville. The Giants are 6-1. I think he's going to be feeling himself in Seattle. I think we get a shootout here. So I think he's at or above this 15 points. Joe Burrow, I think he sizzles a little bit. I don't think he's as on fire as he was, but I still think he scores 20 plus. Joe Mixon, he's been really inefficient this year, and I keep thinking that's going to turn around, and it doesn't. So I really don't know what to expect on him. I'm not as high as I was on him earlier in the season, despite his usage. Alvin Kamara needs his touchdowns to be elite, although he is still pretty consistent the past couple weeks, so I like that. Jamar Chase, absolute stud. Wan'Dale Robinson, I think that's an interesting start. I'm here for it, and I would like to see it. Kyle Pitts, I think he's interchangeable with tight end 3 through 13 or whatever, however many are. Atlanta's team is just, I don't understand. I don't watch the games live enough to know. But anyway, Stevenson, like I said earlier, love him. I almost picked him up. Wish I would have. He's a stud. Dallas should do good against Chicago. All right. I think I take Cam in that one. We can go back to the head-to-head. Look at Cam Thomas all time. Cam is 5-2 in the regular season against T-Bay, and they've never met in the playoffs. So I think he definitely pulls that one off. Next, we have Bobby and Michael. Michael coming off a pretty shitty week, and Bobby coming off a great week with the Bills on a bye. I say that Bobby just continues his dominance unless, it's fantasy football, but I really don't see how he scores less than 140, 150 points. I just don't see it happening. Michael, I'm sure has a chance. I don't like Wilson in Germany. I don't love Cook anymore. I think Cup will be. I mean, he's Cooper Cup. He had like 19 targets against San Francisco last time, so he'll be fine, especially at home. Amon-Ra St. Brown, coming off the injuries, I think he could finally have a. I think that Miami game might be actually a shootout, Miami Detroit. So I could see big things there from those two on his team. But I don't know. I still think obviously Bobby's a favorite, but I could see the potential for an upset here more so than I could with Cam over T-Bay or T-Bay over Cam. Okay, and then we'll go to the head-to-head, of course. Bobby and Michael. Bobby is 3-6 all time. They have never split a series in the regular season, so I say that trend continues. All right, Connor and Andrew. Lamar Jackson really needs to figure out what's going on with him. Maybe a game in Tampa is what they need. But Tampa Bay also needs one of those redemption games, so we'll see. I think it should be interesting on Thursday night football. Jalen Hurts coming off a bye should be solid. Walker has just been insane. Henry, I think, is going to just run all over Houston. Godwin, we'll see. I have no faith in Tampa Bay. CeeDee Lamb, I've never met his hype as much as everyone else has. I just haven't seen it. I haven't watched a lot of live stuff from him, but I just feel like he's always overvalued. So, but I still think he's a solid start. Jonathan Taylor, very disappointing. And then special teams, they look fine. Matthew Stafford against San Francisco had like 4 points last time, so not expecting a whole lot there. Trevor Lawrence, he's been doing good. Especially Denver's kind of a tough, stingy defense, so a little bit tougher game there. Maybe mid-teens. I don't see him breaking 20, but who knows? McCaffrey, I think 16 is pretty generous. I see like 12, 13 points. Singletary, I think if they can get up early, he might be able to get a touchdown and reach that 12 points. Mike Evans, we'll see. If he can catch a wide open pass. DeAndre Hopkins. Let's see if we can continue the hot return at the midpoint here. George Kittle, big game last week. We'll see if it continues. Same with Amari Cooper, only 3 catches for 74 yards. Let's see how Monday Night Football looks with the two Ohio teams. I have to go with the favorite here in Connor. He's dropped 2 in a row. All time, Connor and Andrew are Connor's 5-2 against them all time. I think again that improves. The most likely upset I see in the favorites here is Nick over myself. Patrick Mahomes on a bye week, so I'm riding with Ellinger. I just kind of said fuck it, so we'll see how that works out for us. For myself, Tom Brady sucks. Nick Chubb's the stud. Pierce is a workhorse. We'll see how that goes against Tennessee. Jefferson's off a bye, so it should be solid. Waddle. I think that game's going to be a shootout. Higbee against San Francisco. I don't think he did great last time against San Francisco. I guess he had 12 points. Oh, fuck me. So, who knows? ETN finally has a backfield to himself, so super stoked about that. A lot of questionable, Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins. Are they going to give you 10 points? Are they going to give you 25? Who knows? Both of them are wild cards, and I'm here for it. Dante Foreman had a good game last week. Let's see how that backfield works out against Atlanta. They were up a lot in that game, though, so I don't know if they're going to get quite the amount of carries, but we'll see. Montgomery needs a touchdown. Hill, I think he has 150 plus receiving yards this game, honestly. Deebo Samuel, we'll see how the injury goes. Same with Andrews. Mostert has yet to play. He has 1 full season healthy. We finished running back 20. But I just, man, he usually plays like 8 or 9 games. We're on week 7, so I think it's just any week. I think 20 fab was too much for him. But, I hope he does well for him. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I think there's the ceiling is high for Nick's team here. I think there's a possibility for an upset. There's my predictions. I hope everyone has a great week, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.